Hey flosstube, it's Michelle McGraw. This is my first flosstube video. So as an introduction, I am on Facebook in several cross-stitching groups. I am on Instagram as Made by Michelle McGraw. And I love watching flosstube and getting inspiration, and so this is my first one. I have been cross-stitching since I was 7, on and off through the years. When life got too busy, it took a back seat. But I enjoy cross-stitching and it's my relaxation, and I always have a project going. So I want to show you my cross-stitch journal. I just got a new journal. I was using a cheaper journal and I did not like it. I'm a paper crafter, so I love Catherine Designs. There's her company name. This is her Canvo, and it's got really thick pages, and I don't think the dots will show up on camera, but the pages are dotted. Can you see that? You might be able to see it slightly. I like it because I write big, and so I can write bigger and take up more dots and just enjoy it. So I just got this new journal. So these are my recent starts that I have, my projects that I have going. And then I always have a page for them, which I write down the pattern name, my start date, my fabric, if I know it. I have a huge stash of fabric, and sometimes it's labeled and sometimes it isn't. It's really old and it doesn't have a name on it, or I've picked it up at a store and it didn't have the name on it. And then I also have my floss. So I will write down any floss changes that I make. I just kind of recently got into fancy floss. I use a lot of DMC. I wash a lot of my projects, so it has to be color fast. So Weeks Dye Works is color fast, the newer stuff is. I think some of the older stuff is not, so you have to look and make sure it's on the label. Sulky Threads are color fast, and then obviously DMC is color fast. So I don't wash everything, but I wash a lot of it. So those, I like to stick with stuff that I can wash. Unless it's maybe an ornament and I know that I'm gonna not wash it because it's gonna be a small project, and then I will use some of the other threads. So let me get right in and show you my whips that I have going on. So first, my project bag is Walking Dead. I got this off of Etsy. Adorable and well made. I love that I could put a clip on the side of it. Love this. So my first pattern is more chocolate bunnies from Handsondesigns, and this is my start. So I have bunnies. I am using the called for sulky threads on that. These are color fast as well. I really like these. They stitch up really nicely. And 1 ply equals 2 strands of DMC. But I love the fact that they're already bobbinated. I don't like to bobbinate at all. But I also don't like the mess that non-bobbinated. So it's a struggle. It really is. Okay, so I will show you my pattern holder. Let me fold my pattern down so I protect it for the designer. So I always use one of these. And these are Knitting Pride. I get them off of Amazon. This is the smaller size. And they also come with one that would fit like an 8.5 by 11 sheet. They are fully magnetized. You fold them open and they make like an easel to hold up. And then you can fold it down like a book to travel. This is my pattern, so I'm not going to show it to you. But it comes with magnets to hold on. There's 3 magnets, and there's a large strip magnet. This is how I keep my place. I just literally slide it down the pattern, so I don't mark on my patterns. And I always have a needle minder. These are my favorite needle minders. They are from the Frosted Pumpkin. They're flat, so I think they hold the needle really well. They hold the needle flat, and the needle, I've never lost a needle off of those, and I throw a needle in there and travel quite often, so I really like those. Those are awesome. And I have quite a collection, because I always put one on my fabric. As you can see, there's my needle, and then I always put one on my pattern as well. If I'm changing threads out, it's just, I don't know, it's just the way I do it. I don't know why, but it works for me. Okay, so that's my first one. I also carry, this is packages of dye. I also carry, it's all specialty threads, but they're in their package as I was bought off. I think I bought all of these from Necessary Needleworks. I will find out that name. It's off of, oh, I'm sorry, needlecasegoodies is the name off of Etsy. Where did I get the other one? And she has them in packs, and so I just throw them in here. And if I'm going to trade out any floss, this is my kind of go-to fancy floss bag, so I trade those out. I have Prairie Schooler Hocus Pocus. I am changing the dark color, which is DMC 3371. I am using black, and I'm also changing all of the orange to purple. There was somebody that did that on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm sorry, I tried to go back and find who it was so I could credit them here. They did it in purple, and it looks fantastic. I am using DMC 29 for that purple because it's a new purple color that is gorgeous muted purple. Love it. And that is the change out that I'm doing for that. But the inspiration came from her. So if you know who it is, tell me in the comments because I'd love to shout it out to her. She did a fantastic job. So this is my start that I'm doing. I'm doing it on a 16 count. So it's actually a lot smaller than I thought it would turn out. But I loved the orange fabric came from my stash, and I love using what I have. So I'm not sure what that fabric is, but and I always use a hoop of some sort. No slip hoops are my favorite, and I get them on Amazon. I have another pattern kitted up, and it's on the agenda to start, but I haven't. I can show you the pattern on this one. This is free, so if you go to her site, you can get this pattern too. And it's from the thewitchystitcher, and it says "Welcome Campers." And I'm a huge horror movie fan, so this will be adorable at Halloween. And I'm actually going to stitch it on a piece. My plan is, right now anyhow, to stitch it on a piece from my stash of oatmeal. It was a little different than just white, but I also want the colors to pop, and so oatmeal was kind of a good one, and it uses up a piece, and I had the perfect size for it. So use what you have. I love being able to pull out some of that old stuff that maybe I'm not crazy about oatmeal stitching on, but it'll look fantastic on the project, so why not, right? This one is kitted up, and it is also ready for a start, is Christmas Magic from Heart and Hand. And I will be doing that on this material, which is a sparkly picture. Hold on, I'm gonna get the name wrong if I don't look at it. It is picturethisplus, and I don't know the name of it. So this was leftovers for some. And the reason why it's so wrinkly is because I washed it before I used it, just to make sure that if I was using anything with light material or light threads, that the color doesn't bleed on it. I put it in the washing machine and put a color catcher. And I also use a certain type of detergent that's supposed to pull the excess dye out. And that way, when if I have to wash it, the fabric should not bleed. That did happen to me on one project, and I was devastated. Wasn't too bad, but it was a very, very deep colored project, so that happened. So this is also from the Witchy-Stitcher, and this is the Univerals Monster Stitch Along, and she already has several of these rooms released. With more to come. There is Phantom of the Opera, Mummy, The Invisible Man, Swamp Thing, and Frankenstein. So I'm working on the top portion. I chose, her pattern also has to where you can do a blood moon, which is a fantastic change up. And then, or a small moon or the big moon. I also did the ghosts in glow in the dark DMC, and they look fantastic. I also subbed out in the windows, instead of the called for color, I used, and I'm gonna look so I can tell you the exact floss that I used for it. I used Glisten Gloss Green. So it's a shiny, it's very, very shiny in real life. It's better than the Krenlick, whatever that is, that I don't like to stitch with. So that worked out way better. Sorry, I have projects everywhere, so. Okay, so my next project that is working on is Prairie Schooler. As you can tell, I'm a huge Prairie Schooler fan. Prairie Schooler Santa, and this is the 2019 one. So there's my start. I have this on a scroll frame. I think this is the Millennium frame. It's from overseas. I waited a really long time for mine. And as you can see, my fabric, my husband put this on for me one day. It's not quite right, but it works. So I'm gonna leave it. This is actually from picturethisplus, and it's called Murky. I love this fabric. It's fantastic. And it's, I don't know if you could tell, it is really soft. So when people say I don't stitch on Aida because it's not soft, Aida is. Aida can be. It depends on the fabric. I found that picturethisplus fabric is really soft. I'm sure maybe not 100% of everything that she does is soft, but everything that I have is soft. It doesn't bother me, the softness, because I stitch on a hoop. But for those people that say Aida isn't soft, they're wrong. Stitch what you love. I find my stitching is my relaxation, so I want to stitch what's easiest for me. I learned on Aida. I stitch on a lot of hand-dyed Aida, and I've never had an issue with it. I love it. Okay. I got to grab out this pattern. I'm also doing another Prairie Schooler, which is Christmas Tree Farm. And this is my progress on it. So it's coming along. This is also picturethisplus. I think this is, hold on, I'll be able to tell you in just a second. This is picturethisplus Oaken, and it's 14 count. It looks fabulous on it. Love all of Prairie Schoolers. Prairie Schoolers are fantastic patterns. Very easy to do, very easy on the eyes. And my last whip that I have currently going, I have another whip that's in another bag in the other room. I'll show you that another time. So this is Kiss Me, Hug Me, Love Me Now. And it's 4 patterns in there, and they're really, really easy. I don't have a lot of Valentines for my display boards, which if you go to my Instagram, Made by Michelle McGraw, my display board is shown on there, and I will show it again with different stitching that I have. It's a seasonal board. They're really easy to make. My husband is not a woodworker at all, and he was able to make me one very simply from stuff from AC Moore's or Hobby Lobby or whatever your local craft store is, Michael's probably, he painted it for me and everything. My dad made my original board, so that one's very special to me because my dad passed away 20 years ago today, so that holds a very special place. I love that every time I go, I can look at something that he made me and really enjoy. My sister has one in her house, and my mom has one in her house that my dad made. So they're very special to all of us. So here's my start on Love Me. I did use Weeks floss on this, and so I subbed it out, and I haven't totally figured out. I think this is oh, I can't remember the name. I don't know if you could see the variegation. It's very, very light, but like here's some variegation in there. And I haven't decided for the little accents. They have like little lips and a heart and little stuff. I haven't decided whether I'm going to use Peony from Weeks, or if I'm going to use 3831 DMC, or if I'm going to go totally different and use 33 from DMC. So I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. It will hit me. They may be all different with a little different color accent. I don't know. Haven't decided. The fabric is also from my stash. Based on it is probably Picture This Plus. And it is just a, I don't think I have the name of it. Let me see. Where's my notebook? I have stuff piled everywhere. And then I just dropped a water bottle. You would love to see my outtakes, because my outtakes are probably like this. Me looking like that like 20 times. Like, what did I just do? And then my older son walked through and made some crazy comment, and I was like, my life. It's my life. The fabric on Kissmehugmelovemenow is Picture This Plus Crystal Truffle. It's a really pretty pink, and when am I going to use pink material other than Valentine's Day? And I don't have a lot of Valentine's, so that's perfect. Okay, I do not have any more whips with me. I have one more that is Visit Mordor, which is from countrymagicstitch from Etsy. And I have that going. I have page 1 done. I have 5 of her patterns at the framer to be picked up tomorrow, and then I have another pattern to be picked up there. I don't professionally frame everything, but those are bigger. They're going on the wall in my family room, and some pictures are coming down, and I'm putting up what I really love, which is cross stitch. So I keep all of my whips, and to try to show you this, on an IKEA cart. And I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move over this way. So my whips are in there on my IKEA cart. You can't really see it really good. I'll show you in pictures one day. Okay, sorry, we're just gonna leave that like that now. So I keep my whips on here, and it's in the family room, and I can move it across my hardwoods really easily, and it makes it to where I can switch out my projects. I always have a table set up on my cross-stitching chair, which is a folding down like a TV tray table. It's from QVC. It's a plastic table that you can fold it down, and then you can bend in the legs, and it could slip underneath the couch or behind a chair or whatever. I have that up 100% of the time, unless somebody is visiting my house, and I put that away, and then as soon as you walk out the door, I bring my table back. I find if I have my project out and easily accessible, I can sit down for 10 minutes and cross stitch for 10 minutes, rather than spend 10 minutes of digging out in my bag to get everything out and set up. My project's set up, I can slide the table to my chair, I can slide it out to the side, and like I said, I keep that up 95% of the time, unless I'm having people visit my house, and then I would put it away. But it is easy. It's easy. I think that the best, I do have another project in my car as well. That's in my to-go bag. So see, I always have a project with me. I think that's the key, always having access to your projects, so you get stitching time in when you can. So if I'm waiting on one of my kids to pick them up, I have a project with me. I can pull it out. I have a couple minutes in the car. If I'm waiting on my husband, I can stitch. So I always have a project with me. Okay, so my dogs just come in. So if you hear that, that is the dog drinking out of their water bowl. That's right there. It's really loud. Like, we'll just focus on that. It's really loud drinking. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so loud. Okay, so those are all my whips. I will be sharing more in the coming weeks, and I hope you like the video. And if you do, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't, just go away. Just don't say anything. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again.